All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a very special live and direct.
Live and
Live and direct episode of These Corona Times. You know how much we say live and direct that we don't really
all the time.
All the time.
all the time. That's why I was caught off guard.
All the time. We say it often and we don't be live and direct. So, live and direct on These Corona Times. You are tuned in with Dr. Simone.
Your girl. I need to shorten my name.
Yes, change
it. Can you?
Yes. Some of it.
I don't have my she and her.
Her pronouns. As I was saying, you're tuned in with Dr. Simone, your girl Tiffany, and the man, the myth, the legend, Mr.
The legend. Legend.
No.
We want to welcome you to a very special episode of These Corona Times. We are trying a new thing tonight, so y'all bear with us. Live means live. So, if somebody leaves the chat or exits, the internet goes out, it's whatever.
I'm watching myself. I see us, and then I see us.
It's weird, isn't it?
If y'all see a kid coming in, just chalk it up.
Chalk it up.
It is.
We won't be able to edit out like we usually do some of the fun things that happen. So you get us live and direct for real. So we want to welcome you. We want to thank you for tuning in. This is episode 45, and this is a Corona Times anniversary episode. So
do you know what today is?
Okay. Well, I feel like it should have confetti. Like I could throw it.
Confetti.
I did that one time on an episode. I think I did that one.
That was episode 10 when we went to
papers in the air.
Yeah.
With our families. Yes.
So we're gonna be doing a lot of that. A lot of reminiscing this evening, talking about how I'm not gonna orient. My bad. Let me stop. Because I'm slipping into territory that's not my own. Instead, let me stay on the path that belongs to me and welcome you to the show. And thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we're coming at you live on a Saturday night, which we don't usually do, but we are trying a new thing as we are. I don't know. I'm scared to say nearing the end of Corona. We always say we'll be here for as long as Corona allows.
Yeah.
Well, the CDC has decided that we're done.
CDC said, you know what, y'all worry about yourselves. We're tired of helping y'all.
Yeah.
They supposed to take your mask off.
CDC was like, y'all don't listen to us no way. We're going to stop giving advisories.
You know what happened was they saw us putting gas in Kroger bags, and they were like, you know what, just forget it.
You're going to kill yourselves anyway. Yeah, so just go ahead.
Get on out there. Herd immunity is achieved. Go on out there. So, now that that's happening, who knows how much longer this will be happening. But until then, please continue to watch us on our Facebook page where you are right now at These Corona Times. I was going to say you can catch us every Monday, but just catch us when we're live, okay?
Just catch it.
Whenever that is. You can also listen to us anytime on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. And that's all for my part.
And if you need a link, if you are not savvy, you need a link sent. We can send you a link. We still
send you a link.
We still do that.
Yes. So moving on, how did we take care of ourselves this past week? There's a lot been going on in the past week. So what have y'all done to kind of self-soothe?
I was out earlier this week. I was not feeling well. I just took a couple days and rested. Did some real self-care because I don't usually not be on the computer or anything. I didn't do anything. I just got some rest, laid down, drank a lot of fluids, tried to take care of myself. So that was my self-care for this week.
What about you, Brandon?
This was one of them weeks where I didn't do nothing.
You did nothing.
I did nothing for self-care. I have some espresso projects I'm doing at work. Things have been picking up there, and doing a little bit more outside with the kids because the weather has been pretty good. And I've been going to bed late. My thing is trying to go to bed between 9:30 and 10:30. And I've had many a night this week where I've been going to bed at 11:30, 12 o'clock. No self-care going on. No self-care.
Brandon's not used to that life.
No,
I'm not used to that life at all.
That's a normal life for us, for me and Tiffany.
Thank you. He doesn't know how to live it.
It's, I'm sorry to hear that. But I think for me, so we, me and my family, we went to Hilton Head last week. And so we didn't record last week, obviously, it was Mother's Day, but I would say that I'm still kind of on a high from that. We had a really, really good time. So that was wonderful. I actually fell asleep on the beach. Like we had chairs, but I didn't like the chairs. So I had to put a towel down. I just fell asleep and I felt that comfortable. So that was really nice.
With the waves crashing and everything like that, man.
It was so nice.
That's the happy place.
Yes. And then I've been sleeping more. I did put out that I was pregnant on Facebook earlier, I guess a couple days ago or a week ago or whatever. So I've been sleeping more and just listening to my body. So I think rest and getting away has been my self-care.
I was hoping that Simone's pregnancy would be a These Corona Times exclusive. And so we have dropped many a bomb on These Corona Times, and she will not let us.
No, it was a Sean Bruce exclusive. I saw that pop up on Instagram. I was like, oh, Sean, okay, you better not now. All right.
Well, you got to know, if Sean posted this because Simone gave the green light.
Yes.
That's facts.
Yes, very true. Very true. Let's see. So as always, if you watch our show, then you know that we always highlight somebody who's doing good things, cool things in the community, in the Black community. And so we wanted to highlight, I'm going to say our own Chrissy Dudgeon. She's church family. Actually, Brandon's relative too.
Yes, yes. Cousin.
Yes. So she has so obviously this is our anniversary. So we wanted to highlight somebody who's been doing this longer than us. Chrissy has a podcast called The Cultured Queen. That's cultured with a K. And the description reads, the Cultured Queen is an official podcast of the Cultured Queen. Join blogger and host Christian as she discusses life from her perspective as a Black millennial 20-something who was trying to make it in a complicated world. And you can visit her website on theculturedqueen.com and follow her on Instagram and Facebook at the Cultured Queen. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Tiffany and I think Brandon, y'all introduced her podcast to me. So definitely want to highlight the work that she's been doing. We need
shout out to Chrissy.
Representation.
Shout out.
Yeah.
And like she said, she's been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually been like 2 years.
Yeah, I think she had episodes that go back to 2019. Yeah. So.
Okay. Now I only know her as Chrissy. Did I say her actual name correctly, Christian? All I know is Chrissy. That's all I've ever known.
Yeah, you say Christian, but nobody really calls her Christian.
Okay.
I've never called her Christian.
I also thought her name was Chrissy for many years.
So, Brandon, would you like to orient us to this episode?
Lightly.
A light orientation.
Just a sprinkle.
I don't have the energy for an extensive orientation. I have a light one. No, so this past week was our anniversary of These Corona Times, which is crazy. Was it actually yesterday or the day before yesterday?
I think it was the 10th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The first one was May the 10th. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So less than a week ago was our anniversary, and we had no idea how long we were going to be here, whether it was going to be 6 months, 2 months, whatever. So to see that anniversary kind of pop up, we're going to talk about some of the episodes that we like the most, some of the ones with the highest views, some of the ones that we personally love working on the most. Just kind of go through the highs and the quote unquote lows, even though there aren't really lows, I don't think, with These Corona Times. I don't know. You may or may not see or hear any of that. We'll kind of go over the highs and lows of what we've been going through over the last year. So it's been pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. 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 That was a good light orientation, Brandon.
Right there?
That was a good one. That was good.
Light.
I can do it when I want to.
So I know one of the things that I wrote in our notes was that I wanted us to talk about our inspiration for doing it. And for me, I think the inspiration came, I had this idea. So y'all know we talk about Marco Polo all the time. We've been using Marco Polo for the longest, way before this, just to communicate, because it's like a text message with video, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's all it is.
it's one of my favorite ways to communicate, especially not living in Louisville anymore. And so I feel like it was one of those late night polos. I don't remember what time it was, but we were talking about podcasts, and I was like, we should do we should do a podcast, and then
but with videos.
with videos, and then we all just started talking about it, and then it became a thing.
And for those of you that don't know, the three of us are not just good friends. We actually work very well together. We have a program for our church called Get Moving Magazine, or Get Moving, the most up-to-date name. And the three of us work together on that. Simone on the behavioral health side.
Assisted. I was an assistant.
She helped,
but I didn't do what they did. I don't work out.
She did a thing. She did a thing. And so, we've been doing this whole work together thing for the last, I'd say, 4 years?
Oh, I'll go back longer than that. I mean, we've just been on so many things together over the years.
Right.
Different things over the years.
Yeah, different things over the years, different projects and things. So yeah.
So it was only natural for us to, let's do this. Oh, okay, sure, why not? It's gonna be easy because we work together so easy.
I would say Simone always has these grand ideas. And we'd be like, okay, how are we gonna do it, Simone? I don't know. We're gonna do it. Let's try it, and of course, I have kind of wanted to try podcasting before. I'm just wasn't brave enough to do it on my own or solo. I didn't think I had anything to talk about, so why? But we had all this new time on our hands. Like, we were still working and things, but this was the very beginning. So we were just really figuring out how to do this work from home stuff. Nothing was on TV. I was bored out of my mind. I mean, it was just finding stuff to do. So for me, when she said it, I was like, oh, because 9 times out of 10, when you tell me you want to do an idea, I'm already planning the next one. As Brandon knows, I'm already planning the next event after this one. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. That can't be too hard. We are in this age now where we're communicating all virtually anyway. Let's figure out how we can make this happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And voila, magically it happened.
I wish it worked like that.
There's been so much planning. Like, when I look back at our notes, just the progression of our notes and how we have gotten more sophisticated with it, it just shows a lot of growth. And I think for me, like, when I think about the inspiration, I realized it was really a form of self-care for me, at least, because I remember us poloing about the when all the COVID stuff kept, like, each state that was being impacted, like, it's not here in my state yet, and then I keep getting, so we kept talking about it. And so that was like one of my ways, at least, to like decompress with everything. And I wish I could go back and watch those.
Yeah.
I think I can. I think it would probably take 5 years to go back.
A long time. Yeah, and I would say, looking back now, that's been a year. I think it's been a form of self-care. I think it's been a wonderful outlet. We talk a lot about using our voice as a platform. I think it's been that. I think sometimes there are episodes I can clearly tell you that was Simone's episode. That was Brandon's episode. That was my episode. I could tell you by the titles or the notes or whatever, but we would all come together and really add to the episode in the end. But it's like the things that have been on our heart, we've really been able to talk about in a way that I never imagined before.
And I'll say, for me, it's a way for me to stay sharp. I want to do more presenting and things along those lines. And, with COVID, I just haven't had as much opportunity to do so, but doing this every week is keeping my thoughts kind of in check on how to be, the flow and all those type deals, and really a way for me to think about expanding into something else, even outside of these Corona times.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've always said that I think this is preparing us for stuff that we don't even know that we're going to do yet. And for me, this year has been a year of a lot of different presentations with other groups, but I think being on here and talking, even though this is our first live, just being on here talking is it's helped me to become more comfortable in a lot of different ways. So I mean, I put it on my resume
I was about to
actually.
say.
And somebody asked about it in a recent interview that I had, and I got a chance to talk about it. Whoa, that was loud, Brandy. What was that?
No, that was me laughing like, they asked about that. It's a different computer that has a much better microphone, so it picks up.
We can tell.
My goodness.
Because usually we tell Brandon, turn it up, Brandon, turn it up. I can't hear you. And he's loud and clear tonight. So
Wait, what was that one time that Brandon did something? I think we weren't recording yet. We were about to. And he was
like, hey.
was like,
You're like, bro, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm telling you, the things y'all don't get to see. So when we talk about like how this experience has been for us, what have been the ups and downs, I know it's been a real teachable moment for me with editing. Like really, like I've become a surgeon with the editing because there are some things that y'all don't need to see. Nobody needs to see or hear about. Sometimes we need to shorten the episode because it gets a little lengthy. So we
somebody says something off the wall, like Tiffany,
yes.
maybe we should cut that part. You think you should cut that?
Probably cut that out. So I would say like places where I've only played around with editing tools. I've only played around with stuff like Canva, which is something we use to make all of our promo stuff. And this has really made me more savvy in that regard. So I think Simona has prepared, because when we got ready to do our diversity forums for work, my boss was like, hey, you do Corona Times, you can run this whole the technical show for us. And I was like, I didn't think people were really paying attention like that, or really watching enough to just be like, hey, that's a real good production you all are putting together over there. But yeah, it's been really helpful in learning how to speak off the cuff, learning how to manage an interview, trying to be respectful of people's time, trying to stay within the note. Like a million things are happening at once that y'all can't see, especially sometimes if we have I would say exuberant guests. I won't say wild guests, but exuberant.
I like wild. Wild. Listen, the guest who was wild knows they was wild. I'm gonna say he knows who he was.
He'll probably be in the chat. It was me.
I'm wild. But being able to cut people off, and hey Ava. Hi, pretty girl.
I know how to drink a little like a door and you wasn't now, see?
I'll see you later, okay?
What do we say about live and direct?
I love it. I'm here for it. Our views will go up because she was on.
Right. It doesn't matter if your doors are closed, Brandon.
It doesn't matter. These kids don't care. They just open them.
Whatever. Doors are just doors.
They're suggestions.
It's a joke. Like, you think I'm just going to keep me out?
Simone has to lock her door to keep her baby out because he'll come in.
Well, Kaden will use the scissors and will open the door. He'll just unlock it. He picked the lock. So, there's no hiding.
No.
But I was saying being able to cut, like get people to not talk, to shift back, bring people back.
Simone's favorite word, shifting back.
Yeah. What's the last topic we want to talk about? What's the last thing?
Bring this around, okay? Full circle.
Around.
Remember we had that one guest that wanted to circle back? They kept wanting to circle back.
Yeah, well, you can't do that.
Can't be circling back.
That was 5 minutes ago. I think that was the wild guest.
That was the wild one. But yeah, I can't say that there really been any downs.
No, I can't. I can't say that.
You have some downs?
I have downs. The topics have been, some of them have been heavy.
Yeah, some of the topics.
The ones we had to do disclaimers for, we're talking about, racial injustice and police brutality. Those are hard to research and to talk about. The likelihood that a Black person will be killed versus a white counterpart. Like, that's hard to say that and to talk about that. But it's educating people. But it's just damn, because it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. We haven't had any low moments as far as the show, but the topics have been. There's been a lot that's going on, from the election to the insurrection to just so much. All the police killings that have happened. It's just a lot has gone on in a year. It's just crazy.
Right, and now we ain't got no gas. I don't have no gas.
Because they're putting it
Here
in the
we
COVID
are.
bags.
They put it in. I saw somebody trying to fill up one of them hampers with the holes in it.
Bruh, with the holes in it.
I saw that and was like,
You want to die.
Counterproductive.
You want to die. That's what that is.
And they're putting it in their trunk. Like,
you hear about the Hummer, the dude that drove the Hummer in Florida?
no, but it's in Florida, so I'm sure it was
It's
bad.
in Florida, so you know anything.
You know it's bad.
Yeah, he had like 5 containers of gas in the backseat of his Hummer. Lit that cigarette.
What?
No.
Why would
This
you
is
do
where
that?
Darwinism comes into play.
This is why
where
the
survival of
CDC
the
is
fittest
done with
come into
us.
play.
I'm telling you.
Once that happened, the CDC was like, you know what, man, forget y'all, man. Y'all ain't even trying to be take care of yourself. So we out. We tap out. Tap it out.
Just have at it. Just they did like this.
You would do what you feel. Because it literally was after we didn't have no gas and people kept filling up. The CDC was like,
I was like, y'all can have it.
they said ends.
figure it out on your own time.
Yep.
Oh no, we don't get canceled.
No, let's not get canceled. We're so close to, to our end. Don't cancel.
Right, don't do that.
I mean, maybe that's some of the downs is worrying about saying stuff that gets us canceled.
Yeah.
We try real hard. We talk a lot. And I think that's one of the other things too. Like Renan said, Voila just came together. And the real truth is we do a lot of preparation between week to week. A lot of preparation between week to week. We meet once in the middle of the week, either with ourselves or with a guest, to talk about the next show coming up. We're constantly trying to look at topics. We try to squeeze in a chance to meet to talk about topic for the whole month, and that changes because we try to stay current with pop culture or political events or whatever the climate is. We try to be very timely. So there is stuff that we always want to talk about, but then sometimes it gets pushed back because somebody shoots up somebody, or people are putting gas in grocery bags, whatever. We have to kind of adjust to make room for that. And sometimes it feels sometimes like a job, but not like a bad job. It just feels like a task.
Yeah. There was one time that we had a meeting. I think it was it right before the episode, and we were like, we can't do this. We just scrapped it. Just do a new topic. I don't know which episode that was. Like, this is not gonna work. Let's just do a new topic.
Within 30 minutes, it was like, no, we're just
scrap that. I don't know what it was not that long ago.
I think we ended up doing women's health, women's nutrition.
And I feel like we planned.
Did we?
We planned that, but I think
we planned that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know what happened. We had a guest that couldn't make it at the last minute.
Yeah.
We tried to do the whole thing on our own.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it.
Like, no.
Couldn't do it. No, we don't have the expertise. Yep. So we had something else. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I value working on. I work best under pressure anyway. And so I think this has just helped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We're all a group of procrastinators. That's probably why we enjoy working together.
I definitely am.
When the time comes for us to come together, we throw together something nice.
Yeah.
Tiffany, you are not a procrastinator.
Yes, I am.
How are you a procrastinator?
Yes, I am.
She's
not all the time.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
I am a true procrastinator in my heart.
No, I can't. Sometimes I really am. Like if it comes to like sermons and stuff, I'm not, because I take that really, really seriously. I start on those things like 3 months in advance. But everything else, I got a paper right now I'm working on, and I'm procrastinating. Procrastinating away.
Procrastination.
There's so much singing on this episode. I didn't know that we had singing.
Makes me wonder what's in Brandon's cup. I hope it's water.
I know, right?
It's just
It's just water.
We'll see in a few minutes. We'll see in a few. We can tell. We can tell.
we're seeing.
Yeah, it was as I start going.
That's when it's a wrap.
So y'all, what have been we've had some, we always of course look at numbers and views and stuff like that. And I think at the beginning we were hoping for like 50 views, right?
Mhm.
That's all we cared about. And we hit that pretty quickly, but the highest and the biggest things have happened. Like, what would you all say are some of the most, maybe your favorite episodes or just ones that hit some higher numbers that you felt proud of?
I really liked our vaccine episode.
Vaccination hesitation.
Yeah, I really like that one. I like that one because, we had real deal doctor and someone who was Zaria Morel, who was very passionate about it. And she backed up that passion with facts and, taught me quite a bit, while she was speaking. I think that was one of, again, she's one of the best ped surgeons in the country, like for real. And she knows her stuff, and for her to really kind of back up some of those things and answer some of those questions and myths, it was like, okay, this is the real deal.
I'm a harken back. Hate using that word, but Simone says it a lot. I'm a harken back.
Did not say that.
So two of our early episodes, I liked them because they're like right behind each other. And they were heavy topics too. It was No Justice, No Peace, and Is My Blackness a Threat? And for me, of course, they were heavy episodes. We talked about Ahmaud Arbery. We talked about Breonna Taylor. I feel like there was another one. George Floyd, I think, was around that time. We talked about all three of those individuals. And for me, that was like when, in my mind, we made this shift. Like, we talked about our show being fun, educational, and before that, we had talked to a pastor, we had talked to a nurse. I think we had done some important things. But for me, it was like, okay, we can really kind of dig into the our Blackness here a little bit and really just stand in it and just be like, what? Because I mean, after that, we had like managing white feelings, and I was for sure we was gonna get canceled after that.
Right.
But going back to that, I think that there are a lot of things that, how can I put this so I don't get canceled? For a lot of white people, they don't have reference because, again, you're where you are, So a lot of times, for white people, they don't have a lot of Black friends or Black people that they hang around. So, they don't have a reference. I get questions about my hair, and my first thought is to be like, somebody, but then I'm like, well, why wouldn't they ask? Because they don't have anybody else. And I think we can use it as kind of an educational. Ain't nobody touching my hair. Quick with that. But but for me, I'm okay with doing a measure of that. Doesn't mean I'm going into a whole soliloquy or anything like that about what's going on. But I think it's fair to at least get that train rolling in your head to be like, okay, this is what they're saying. Let me do my Googles and let me look into this topic a little bit further. White feelings, I never even heard. Let me look that up real quick. Let me and kind of see what some of that stuff is. So I don't say we're teaching whole classes or anything, but if we can, I think for some people we are that starter, and they're going to hopefully keep that going and continue their learning.
I think shedding light on the Black experience, maybe what we're doing, because I know a lot of people do watch, and a lot of people who aren't just, initially we started out as like our church family will probably watch, our family will probably watch, and that'll be about it. But as Brandon used to say in the beginning, we have fans on these Corona Times page that I don't know personally.
Right.
I don't know them. I never met them. They're of all colors, shapes, sizes, all those things. So it's like we branched out, and the more we promote our videos and stuff, we get more and more followers and friends to our page that we don't personally know. So I would say just have an opportunity in a time where it seemed like this last year, everybody wants to know how people of color are feeling, like to know that we had this space where we could just say it and not have to pretty it up or make it palatable. We could just say what we were feeling and get it out there. I think that's helpful to some. I mean, people who want to know more, because there are some people who are just closed off. But I think for people who are like trying to learn more, who are trying to get to a place of more inclusion and equity and diversity and all those things, then I think it's a good medium for that.
I think anytime that we've been able to educate people has been meaningful for me. And when you think about educating people, it's not just some of these topics we've talked about in different ways across our show, and some of it needs to be repeated. A lot of it needs to be repeated. So even if you know it, it's good to hear it again and hear it again and hear it again, because it might make you think differently the next time you heard it. You know what I mean? I love Zaria's because she actually prepared a PowerPoint, which I sent to some family members and friends, and that really helped them. The church episode we talked, which I think we're probably gonna talk about doing another one, but just talking about how that's a big part of our lives and how that has shifted in so many different ways during COVID. We did a couple of marriage episodes. Our first one was with our spouses.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I know what we had to go through to get our spouses to come on the show.
I was like, Sean, scoot over. He was like, I was like, scoot over.
Yes. Y'all see me?
Notice y'all haven't seen them since.
Right. It's not going to happen.
Except for my husband. He'll break down the door on the show, okay?
Yes, Joelle will come. That was one of the ones that had, with Alex and Alethea, they came on twice. And I think their second episode had one of our highest views that we've had because, people are married out here during this pandemic, and it's been tough. So I think that a lot of people enjoyed that one. Anytime we have Fred on, he did Murder Was the Case That They Gave Me, which was the title that he came up with literally on the fly.
Yeah.
We were talking about the different cases. We're talking about George Floyd, the Chauvin trial, and then also, oh gosh, help me.
Adam Toledo.
Dante, right?
Ma'Khia Bryant, we talked about her.
Yeah. And he was given a law enforcement perspective on was it right or was it wrong, blah, blah. So yeah, that was a great one too.
Yeah. And shout out to Fred, because Fred was talking to me about something totally different one night. And he was like, you know what? It's time for me to be on Corona Times again. You got a lot to talk about. I was like, okay, Fred.
Come on.
Whatever you want, man. Come on and be on. So that, and we can't talk about some of our favorite shows without naming some of our guests. We have had some wonderful guests on, and shout out to all of them for being willing. Many of them are our church family, some of our friends. I can't get them all, but some of our early guests: Bryant Stewart, Brittany Turner, Fred, Fred Parker,
Janessa.
This was really good too with the financial.
Oh, very timely. We had her on twice.
I got read, and I felt so disrespected during the episode. I'm just joking, but I'm working with her today, even now. So she was awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We had Councilwoman Keisha Dorsey on. She came through and talked to us about voting. That was very timely.
We had Keon and Margaret come on to talk about single life.
So we're gonna name
one of them was wild, one of them was not. One was wild.
One was wild. The other was not. We appreciate her for not.
Yes, we love her. We love Keon too.
Yes. We had I was thinking we had a panel, a generational panel.
Yes.
Yeah, we had Cheyenne and Steph and Rob and
Rodney. Yeah.
We've had some
We
good.
did a lot, man, for
We
real.
have done a
Now
lot.
that I think about it, like we really hit on a whole lot in the last year. That's crazy that it's really been a legit year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
We talked about mental health a lot on this show. I mean, throughout the episodes, we've mentioned that. I mean, we talk about self-care
a lot.
and gratitude a lot, which are big topics that are very helpful to people in their healing process.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're in therapy or not, just in your daily life, it's helpful to think about those things. So
I loved our episode about normalizing self-care. And also the burnout episode, which after we talked about it more, I'm talking to more people who are experiencing burnout, like in a major way. There are a lot of people, a lot of my coworkers taking vacations right now. They're burnt.
I hope to be in that number soon.
Yes. Well, I think we're all about to be where the vacation resides.
You'll be out next month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if coming home is a vacation. We're gonna try to pretend.
It's a trip.
Pray.
It's a vacation.
Pray, church.
If the church would only pray. Oh, which reminds me, I love the episode. Man, we've done 2 episodes about church. The first one was with Pastor Stewart, and then the second one we talked about like what church has taught us. And I think that was a really good episode because there's so many ideas now that we have as adults that are different, especially as like people, Simone and Brandon have kids, how they're raising their kids differently, and some of the messages that they're taking from church. I've also now, like I feel like I hear stuff more, so now I hear more like that message about how important it is for single women to be married or to get married or be in couples in the church. I'm hearing people say that more now. I'm like, we talked about that several months ago.
Wait, how is what?
How it's important for single women to like marry up.
To marry up.
To get married.
Oh, but not marry up.
No, not like marry up, but like get married, like couple up or whatever. Like the importance of,
that's interesting.
Finding your one.
Your Boaz.
Your Boaz.
I don't think you want that because that if you
get you a broke ass.
There's some things that went on in both.
Yes, the hunting season. I grew up amongst the hunting season for the women. Didn't like it then. I don't like it now. If you want to get married, get married. But if you don't want to, then don't.
Well, there's that whole message of like you have. I ain't saying you have to, but this is sometimes what we hear in churches that we have to, in order to be like a good girl or good woman. That's what you need to be doing because of course
you could be.
You can, but you can.
I'm saying you could be a good girl and they still accuse you of being bad. It's like, what about it?
I thought you were about to say you could be bad and still get you a husband.
Yeah, it's true.
The funny thing is, the joke is, the ones that was like, oh, I never did this. They still out here not married, but the ones that did it all, the ones that's married.
That's what it seems like sometimes. Like, not saying you should give up on that, but just it's funny how the turntables do turn sometimes. It's weird.
Right. Either way, we will be fine.
Yes.
We will be fine. But that is interesting. The one about the one that Brandon did, that he was, the leader of the Women's Health and Nutrition. That was a really big one. I hate to compliment Brandon.
It's hard. It's hard.
It keeps me up at night. I don't sleep well if I compliment Brandon. But it was a good episode. It was really good. And my mom, that Brandon, he just really knows. He just knows what he's talking about.
All his stuff. No, he doesn't know anything.
Almost,
that's one thing. My profession has not really creeped into the show much, but Simone's and Brandon's really have. And that's been great. Like having a doctor of the psychological arts here with us.
Okay.
And having Brandon here with all his, I guess he's knowledgeable in nutrition and health and wellness and those things. That's been extremely helpful to the conversation.
See how she said that though?
I know she said it like this.
Yeah.
Well, I would just say I asked Brandon to lead us through exercise during the show. He refused.
Because she wasn't going to do it.
I would
She
do it.
wasn't gonna do
Ooh,
it. You,
I have worked out. You saw me. I did a squat once.
I did. I saw it.
It wasn't good, but I would do it. Even now, pregnant,
She would go. She would.
I
do
would
it.
do it.
You just keep doing your walks, Simone. Just keep doing your walks.
Don't let Simone fool you. She did the Tough Mudder a few years ago.
I did.
She did it
That
with
was
no
like
training.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But she did. But you did it though. You did it
Yeah, I remember that time I showed up to y'all's program
with boots on and jeans
with red boots on. Do you
and a
remember
sweater.
that?
Yeah, talking about I came to help. Like, no, you didn't.
Like you the most overdressed person.
Talking about, I do the stretches and like, no, Simone, just go sit down.
Not.
Tear your pants up.
Wait,
Oh
who put shade in the note?
I did. I put shade. I want to talk about that because when we first started this and I told my family about it, I got some shade.
Got the
Okay.
shade.
I'm not gonna name anyone. I was like, oh, we're gonna do this thing. And it was like crickets, crickets, crickets.
Yep.
Why would you do that? I was like, what do you mean? I mean, do you have time for that? I mean, who's gonna watch it? I'm like, aren't you gonna watch it? You're my family. Are you gonna watch? I mean, I guess.
And Nancy, they watch every week.
I'm talking about my mother. I'm gonna put out there Luana Briggs.
You get shade and support all at the same time.
And she does watch, but she was shady at first.
You know, I've too gotten the shade. I've gotten, well, that episode was good, but it was a little long. It was
Yes.
y'all went on a little long. Cut
If
it a little.
that's what my boo says was the problem, and that was the problem. You need to shorten it up, tighten it up.
So she'd be like, Ty, you need to, and then she'll be like, I didn't watch last week because that didn't really apply to me. I was like,
I need you to watch all of
just
them.
watch them all.
Watch them.
Like, that wasn't for me. I was like, oh.
Or I wish you had gone this direction because I didn't really like that angle y'all took.
We've gotten a many of show notes from Simone's mama who's been like texting us.
Yeah.
Y'all should talk about this.
And everything.
Yeah.
I think for a future episode, y'all should do blah 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 blah.
It's our
Some of it
fault.
I don't even share with y'all. I'm like, no, we're not gonna talk about that, Mom.
Wow. I was like, where did this shade note come from?
I just wrote that just a second ago.
I can see the cursor still blinking on my side. So you're still in the notes. So this is my favorite part of our discussion tonight. What we've learned about podcasting. My goodness. Let me ask the least technical person. Simone, what have you learned about podcasting?
I've learned nothing about the technology. I haven't learned anything. I've learned some of the new buttons, I guess. I still have trouble, like when I navigate the page on Facebook. I don't know if it's because it's not user friendly, but sometimes I have trouble.
So you attacking Facebook now? Are you attacking Mark
No,
Zuckerberg?
I'm not. No, Facebook is wonderful. I love Facebook, and sometimes it's hard to find the boost button. But we kind of talked about this already. And I mean, interviewing people, I love that. I really like doing that. You know, we talked about shifting people back where they need to be. Mm-hmm. I've learned a lot about interviewing and just talking and conversation as well.
For me, it's been those probing questions. You know, my job is to ask a lot of questions and dig deeper. And, you know, it's just like, hey, ask this question and see where it goes. Ask that question and see where it goes. Drill down a little bit more. Drill down. And it's been good, you know, not just for other things as well.
Have you learned how to orient us lightly yet? No.
I think he has learned to orient us lightly.
They've gotten a lot better. I'm just gonna say.
Just so y'all know, we had to put light orientation in the notes, and then I think I put light, and then Tiffany highlighted it.
I did. So petty.
Anybody that knows me knows I like to talk.
We know.
Love to talk.
We know it. That's why we gotta shorten you. We gotta fix you.
They had to put me on a leash.
Yeah.
Just reel it back in. Mm-hmm. But no, I think it's good. I think I think our strengths are played up. Tiffany's wonderful at technology. I don't care about. I do what I need to do when I can do it, but no,
She doesn't care.
I'm the one that, if we have guests, I'm usually the one that will reach out and communicate with them, but sometimes I forget. And so if I do, then Tiffany will do that to remind me.
What we're
Where it
saying
stops
is,
for me for
look,
technology. Tiff will keep things afloat if somebody forgets something.
And Brandon will keep the show moving because we've had a few times people's internet be acting up and their squares break out. And
I'm on a different computer now.
Brandon will keep the show going.
no, hey, don't stop.
That's when that talkability comes in handy. All that good talking.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
And I will get people to stop talking. Okay, what's the last thing we want to talk about today? Getting late.
She used to say we want to be respectful of your time. That's where it started.
But sometimes it's so good. I don't want to
Yeah.
stop. It's like, oh man, we gotta go. It's getting late.
Yeah, I have learned a lot about the technical side. This is I guess my longest amount of time using Zoom. I won't say my first time using Zoom, but we record with Zoom. I've learned how to link Zoom to YouTube and Facebook. I've learned about YouTube channels. I've learned about promotions and boosts and stuff of that nature. I had a great talk with Dion, who was one of our wonderful guests we had on. Last episode, we talked a lot about like some of the technological things that we could do to help the show or whatever. I've learned about podcasting when we switched our stuff over to podcast. I learned about Anchor, which, if anybody's interested, Anchor is a great free tool you can use to podcast. Just so much I didn't know. Like there's a bunch of websites out there to say like how to podcasting 101. But we've learned a lot. We've bought stuff. We got ring lights, we got mics, we got stands, all kinds of stuff that we have like branched out since our very first episode. So just so many things. And it's taught me how to not just listen for your name or listen for the empty spaces, but listen for comprehension. And so you can like have good conversation with people and not just jump in with your question, but have a follow-up question. Or sometimes, as much as we have notes, sometimes we don't.
Sometimes we go off the path.
Yeah. We go wherever the guests will take us. Sometimes we have to bring it back, but for the most part, if the conversation is good, we'll go where the guest is leading us. So.
Yeah, just like sometimes in the notes, something gets added in the middle of the
show.
If you want to talk about it. I'm definitely more of a last minute person with things. But I also I feel like I've learned how to, like, if you have a different opinion with somebody, there's a way to disagree, but still be respectful on the show. And I think that's not always easy to do.
Right.
I feel like there's I don't know if an art to that or something. So I've definitely learned that.
Yeah. I agree.
Definitely.
So many things.
So many things.
So things we've learned about podcasting, but what has this taught us about ourselves? Something we have touched on in several episodes.
I know for me, it's just more of a realization that I need people. And I love to be out and about. I actually kind of look forward to doing this because, I'm getting together with these two. And then a guest that I, even if I don't have the longest of backgrounds with that individual, it's just still fun to get with somebody and to talk with them and to kind of go. It's fun, especially, while we were being quarantined or whatever you want to call it over the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you, Swan?
I've always considered myself to be a shyer person on the shy side. I know I'm more outgoing than you are, Tiffany. But
yes.
I'm still I'm that person. If I see you in the store and you don't see me, I might not speak. Just because I don't know what to say. But once I start talking, I'm okay. But I've learned that even with me being that way, that I really like talking and I like teaching. I like presenting information. And I can get comfortable. Like once I start going, I can get comfortable. So that's just helped me in other avenues. So that's one of the things that I've learned. And I think it's also taught me I need people too. Especially when I'm not feeling the best, isolate myself and pull myself away. But this has caused me, because I'm accountable, to these two, to show up and still do it even when I don't feel like it. And I find that when I do it, I feel better.
And let me tell you, we've all had episodes where we did not feel like it that evening.
Come back.
Yes.
You'll come back the next day and be like, yeah, I wasn't feeling that one.
But we got through, we got through, and for the most part, I don't think people could really tell in the episode, but we have showed up, post nap, needing a nap,
Ready to go to bed.
ready to go to bed. Like today, Brandon's ready to go to bed, but we've gotten through episodes. And I guess for this, what's taught me about myself is I believe I'm the shy one of these two people here, of the three of us. I'm the one who will sit in the back and not talk at all if I don't have to. So I think this has taught me how to be more confident in myself and my abilities. This has really forced me to have to listen to and watch myself speak, and I don't like doing that at all. I've preached for years, and I would never watch my sermons. I listen to them, but I would never watch them back. But because I have to edit the video, I end up watching. Yes, I end up watching myself back. So it's taught me to be comfortable with that. My goodness, it also just taught me just the power of using your voice. And something that we say a lot is using your voice, using your platform. And I think we do a lot of that and do it well. And we've just covered so many things. Even I was just thinking about some stuff we didn't even mention. We had a whole episode about hair health, just being confident. Just lots of things we've talked about over the last year or so. And I'm just like, wow, these are all just things that I don't know if I would have ever talked about them with anybody else had we not brought them here to discuss.
Yeah, we talked about God, our different hustles. I think Joelle was on for that one, but we talked about all the different ways that we make money, and how COVID in some ways has been helpful for the bag, to be honest.
Where the money resides. Oh
my goodness.
I
ain't gonna have to let Brandon sing all the songs. I gotta get one in.
I'm gonna let y'all sing.
Where the money resides.
Okay.
Hey, see,
no, you've gone too far.
You took it to a different space.
And this is where we go to the next topic.
Bring it all around.
I've learned that Brandon is comfortable with singing in front of people. I learned that. I didn't know that. Yeah. Brandon, do you watch yourself back on the episodes there? Because at first you didn't.
No.
Still no?
He won't do it.
And Brandon, you've been making videos for a long time, but just like you doing fitness things.
Yes. And I don't rewatch those either.
Why?
I just can't watch. The funny thing about it is I know, and that doesn't mean that all of my videos are perfect, but I know within the first minute or so of a video talking whether it's going to be good or not. And if I don't think it's going to be good, I'll stop it right then and start over. And if I feel like it's good, I'll just keep flowing with it. And if I keep flowing with it, I'm done with it. I don't watch it yet.
I'm gonna go back through and recommend some episodes that Brandon should watch back. So where he was like nodding, he was like, just go back and watch him. Just watch.
The one where like your eyes are closed. Like, Brandon, wake up. That's what
there was one episode where Brandon was trying to buy sneakers in the middle of the episode.
Yes, he was like this.
He was like, he had like two screens up. He was like,
oh my gosh, it's like, Brandon, we can see you.
I have much better Zoom etiquette.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so proud of you.
Zoom etiquette is a thing. It really is.
It's a real thing.
And everybody doesn't have it. Like, if you don't use these platforms, you really don't know. I know people, I'm not gonna call nobody out, but they just don't have good Zoom etiquette. You can't do this. Like, you can't do this.
No, please don't do that.
Do that.
Don't have me looking up your nose.
Or be like, you just can't do that. So yeah, taught me to have better Zoom etiquette.
Yeah, and present like with the camera on, because I know a lot of times in our work meetings, like we're not required to. I'm present, I'm there, but I don't always have my camera turned on. And this, like we can't turn our camera off in video podcast. It's kind of like counterproductive. So, just getting comfortable looking at yourself on the screen while you're talking.
Exactly. So we kind of talked about speaking in front of people. But y'all want to talk about highlighting podcasts that we enjoy?
Yeah. Yeah. What do y'all listen to when you're not listening to these Corona times, or not watching, in Brandon's case, these Corona times? What are you listening to?
I
Oh, go ahead, Brandon. No, go ahead, Brandon.
We have a lot of that happens in the show.
I watched the Hidden Brain podcast on NPR, and it's a guy named, I'm going to butcher his name, but it's Shakur Vedantam. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. And he just kind of goes into different topics about the brain and how human nature does XYZ, how you think it's one way, but it's really another. And I like that type of thought. Always has different guests, always talking about a really good topic. The last one I think I heard was them talking about the similarities between COVID and the 1918 flu, and how human nature back then was very similar to what's going on right now, and just letting us know how far we have come, because I didn't realize there were shared cups in offices. It was okay to spit on the ground. There were so many unhealthy things that were going on back then, but it also lets me understand that I have to give grace to those individuals, because hindsight's always 2020, and we can say, well, you should have done this, should have done that, but we've had 80 years, 90 years to figure stuff out. So it's really kind of gave me an opportunity to be like, not to judge people as harshly as I have before, because I'm learning more about human nature and how we've evolved over time.
I think for me, I have caught many episodes of The Failure Report, which is Dion Stokes,
Shout out to Dion.
one of her podcasts, which is really cool because, as she talked about our last episode, people usually try to hide the failures that they've had, when really the failures are what helped them to get where they are. They learned something that they didn't know before, to help to propel them into their next season or what have you. So I really like her podcast. It's very positive. And then also Keisha Dorsey, who is a councilwoman in Louisville, Kentucky, District 3, right?
Yeah.
D3.
D3.
KD for D3. Yes. She has the Millennial Politico show, which comes on her councilwoman Facebook page, I believe. And so I've caught many episodes of that, even though I'm not in Louisville anymore. That's still my home. So I, definitely want to support her. But then also I love to watch just my favorite YouTuber podcaster is Lovely T TV. And she talks about like celebrity news, gossip, but also really important topics too, like COVID and, race-based stress and trauma, that kind of stuff. So those are kind of the ones that I love.
That just reminded me of an episode that we wanted to do and we didn't do because we thought time had passed. Derek Jackson episode.
Derek Jackson made a YouTube video trying to continue with the same antics. I was like, nah, Derek, no, it's over.
Had enough, sir.
Yeah, ain't seen
Rebranding.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Too soon. I did not write it down, and I cannot remember her name, but she's the podcaster that had Margaret on. A few months back, she had her on, and then she did another podcast where she had Myron Edmonds on. Man, I'm gonna have to look her up and list her.
Try to find it.
Yeah, she has a good podcast too. I try to listen to that one because that's a good Christian podcast to listen to on the Sabbath, because there's not a lot of programming for us during these Corona times. Do it, Brandon. You didn't. There we go. Thank you.
What did you? I missed it. What did you say?
I did a pun, and he was supposed to do the drum.
Oh, I missed it.
And you know what? Just down with it.
I was looking for the podcast. Okay.
You find what it's called?
Yeah, it's called wait, is it Therapy as a Christian.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know her name. Let's see, what is her name? Rosalind? Is that
I
her
believe
name?
so. I like her. I
Therapy as a
like her
Christian.
podcast.
Mhm.
Yeah. Outside of that, I also listen to Here's the Thing. It's a Kev on Stage and Angel, I think it's her name.
Yeah, I watched that
Listen to
too.
their podcast, watch their podcast. They have a video podcast as well, so either or.
Mhm.
Love Hour by Kev on Stage and Mrs. Kev on Stage. That's a good one. I like to listen to The Read. That's one of my favorite ones, and they do there's like a pop culture podcast. We already mentioned Culture Queen, so shout out to Chrissy. That's it. I just slowly started easing into the world of podcast a couple years ago, so I'm one of those who'll find one and watch it all the way through.
Yeah, it really helps. Like if I'm folding clothes or whatever, just see, I always learn something new. I like to learn new stuff. So
Brandon be listening to podcasts to make your head hurt, talking about brains and history, science. You want to learn?
wants to learn, something. So what's in our future? We got a couple things. I know we have some stuff within this year that we're gonna do, but then we could like kind of give a, I don't know, peekaboo to what we are thinking might happen.
What does Brandon thinks in our future? What do you think?
Wait, throw me under the bus, right? A potential, because we know that COVID's coming to an end, right? So we're going to have to change this thing up and walk. Well, actually, no, COVID's not coming to an end. COVID's going to always be around, but the way that it is right now is not going to always be. So we're going to have to kind of shift gears and focus on something else. So that's what we're looking at doing in 2022.
Yeah.
Yes. So in the more immediate though, I'm excited about kind of like a second girls' night out we're gonna try to do with our cousin, me and Tiffany's cousin. Brady will not be invited to this episode.
No, he can't come. We hope he'll watch though.
Well, we can't guarantee.
I will watch.
We can't guarantee that will happen.
I'm not going to hear my voice.
You can listen too if you don't want to sit and look. You can listen as well.
Yes.
Either way, we want the numbers. Come on, help us pad the numbers.
So that will be fun. There's some other episodes we have coming up, but that's the one that I think I'm most excited about. I know we're going to talk about some social media stuff. But yeah.
Are we still getting that Protect Black Women episode in there?
We keep toying with that. We need to figure out what we're going to do with that.
We don't know the direction of it yet.
Yeah, but we're working on it. Hopefully we'll get another guys' night out before we close out. I don't know. It took so long to get the first one. I just don't know if we get another one.
All I remember was Winston and his shoes.
So many shoes.
A wall of shoes.
Yeah. I love it though.
I loved it. Let's see. Yeah, and I know we were talking about doing another church episode. But who knows? I mean, we love suggestions too. So if there are things that you're listening, you want us to talk about, please let us know. We'll consider it.
Yep.
We should have our mothers on.
No.
Yes. Y'all's mother. Yeah.
No, first off, we're all gonna be on the ship. Everybody's mama coming on. But no, we've already talked about this, Simone. We've already vetoed this idea. No, not doing it.
Wow.
Well, Simone, as Simone would say, we want to be respectful of your time.
Yes,
Circle it around.
This has been a good episode. I'm happy to commemorate the 1 year mark. I can't believe it's been a year.
Yeah.
Seriously, I can't believe that.
Yeah. It's funny. It's just, we thought a few weeks. We'll give it a month or two, tops. We hadn't even made any episodes past like June or July. And then it was just like, we just have kept going. So.
And then 1 year later.
Yeah.
1 year later. There's so much to talk about though. I mean, the world just keeps giving us stuff to talk about.
Fortunately or unfortunately.
We're going to have to talk about this gas situation. We're going to talk about this, the pulling back of the restrictions. We're going to talk about that because I have so many feelings.
Thoughts.
Especially as a parent of a small child with no vaccine. It's like, what do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah. He's gonna be lost.
It's just like wait and see.
He said, "Fend for yourself."
Pretty much. And then talking about vaccinating little studies around like vaccinating 6-month-olds.
Ooh.
Not my 6-month-old. But if you want to, go ahead. But I'm not gonna participate. I'm not be.
That's a little young.
No, yeah, it's a little young. It's a little young.
So anyway, there's a couple things that might end up on the schedule. But do we want to? Oh, we don't have a recap of All American. We don't have one. Does it come back this week though?
This week.
Olivia's gonna die.
Right?
Who's gonna die?
Olivia.
Why? Oh, because I forgot.
That's what she did with that tape.
She definitely did.
Yeah.
She's gone.
If she's not, she better be. But
the next episode, she needs to be running away somewhere. Like, I'm Spence. I'm in North Carolina.
Right. And not only that, they're on the street because their mama gets fired. Like, do you like this life you live? Because if you do, then you won't do that. But anyway. So as we always do, we talk about our gratitudes and the things that we're thankful for before we close out. So what would y'all say you're grateful or thankful for?
Ooh, well, in light of the year, I'm grateful for the show. Thankful to work with you two amazing people. It's been so much fun, and I think it's helped our friendship. I think we're closer now than ever. I mean, we were all very close beforehand, but I think, just really bonding over some of these topics, and some of these topics sometimes we got really emotional or just really heavy, and I think we just really come together over some of these over the year. So I'm grateful for the experience, for the opportunity. I'm grateful for Simone's giant ideas that she has no idea how they're going to happen, but she throws them out into the universe. So, I'm glad that she thought about this one and that we decided to join in and do it together.
What about you, Brandon?
I am pains me to say this. I'm thankful for Tag Media. Tag Media is doing great things with our podcast, taking it, doing all the editing and then putting it on Apple and Spotify and everything like that. And then assisting with my website as well. We actually had a mini shoot.
Fire shoot today.
Actually pretty great. Pretty great in doing all that. So I'm really thankful for not just friends I can count on that can do this, but good, dependable people that give out a good product. So I'm really thankful for that.
For sure. What am I thankful for? I'm thankful to have gotten through this year with all three of us and our families being really healthy and not getting sick with COVID or other illnesses that are obviously still going on. Thankful to have a healthy pregnancy during this time. I'm definitely at an increased risk for things because of my condition, college condition, but age and being pregnant as well. So I'm just thankful for that.
Yep.
Well,
I think that's going to be the end of our episode tonight. If you all watched live with us, thank you so much for joining us. Let us know if you're with us tonight. We're going to try to do these lives more often as long as the schedules allow. So with that said, we're going to close up the show tonight. We're going to do some of our favorite closing things. We want to remind you to...
We can't even say wear your mask. Listen, you should still wear your mask.
Wearing your mask.
Still wear the mask. Especially if you're not vaccinated.
Yeah.
If you're not vaccinated, they still saying they suggest that you still wear your mask.
But wash your hands. You can still do that one, right?
Please.
You can still wash them. Yeah.
You should. You have to.
Yeah. You better.
I did read that they said, with younger kids, they still need to wear their masks. And so it's a good idea for the parents to do so because it's a good example to the children. So,
I know here at least the kids got to wear them to the end of the school years inside. So, yeah. All right. Well, what do we say? We always want justice for Breonna Taylor. Y'all can still go and get that, please and thank you. I've seen some movement.
Expeditiously.
Yeah, expeditiously. I mean, it's been a year, guys. Come on. Can you do something? And until we come together next time. Of course.
We remain yours.
We remain yours. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
What is Simone do?
I was ready.
What up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of These Corona Times. Hey, you are here.
Hey.
Yeah, you're tuned in with myself. Why is she?
This shirt's gotten a lot bigger. So I'm trying so it makes it. I'm trying so it doesn't like sag down here like Simone's shirt was.
I know. I'm gonna put a.
What up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of These Corona Times.
Tiffany, when you.
What's that? When
you hit record, I'm doing like this.
Turn up. What up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of These Corona Times. Hey, what's up, y'all?
Oh.
I would ask you how you're feeling, but
Oh, I can't really say. I'm all right. I can't say what I want to say.
In the famous words of Lizzo and my pastor, quote unquote, I'm feeling good as hell right now.
I'm good as
well, I guess we'll have to edit that out. So
Why?
just stop.
Okay, well, it has to